What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this edition of Kriegs Corner. It's Corner with a K. I'm your host, Adam Krieger, and boy, oh boy, do we have a great show for you today. So, before we get into the show with my boy, Adam Pesci at Fuzey on Twitter, and my boy, Scott, just want to give you a quick little rundown of the week, what's going to recap of last weekend and what's coming ahead. So, a few things I blogged about already, and I just want to talk about a little bit more is this year's Call of Duty. And it's not even so much this year's Call of Duty, but it's just the Call of Duty world in general right now. Call of Duty Warzone, the free-to-play battle royale game, has been out for about a year now, and the number one complaint from streamers on Twitch, and just even competitive Call of Duty players in general is just the inability to put in the anti-cheat. Um, so an anti-cheat is just something like a program or a software that a company like Activision, which makes zillions and zillions of dollars, can purchase, and it just kind of it's an easy way to sniff out these like extra files that, inc- that just break the game. Their cheaters are able to lock onto the players' heads, see through walls, a bunch of stuff that just gives them a ridiculously unfair advantage. It's almost impossible to beat someone who's cheating. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I'll link it down below. Also, what's going on this weekend is obviously it's Super Bowl weekend. So there's a lot to talk about. Scott and I, not in this episode, but in the next episode, are going to be discussing some crazy Super Bowl props. The more obscure ones, the Gatorade bath color, under over time on the national anthem. What Jim Nance and Tony Romo say first as opposed to what they say second. Um, so be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be cool. I'm probably gonna do a mega blog on that, give a bunch of picks, give my opinion. Because to be honest, there's only one game left in this football season, and I don't think you need me to tell you who you're going to bet on or what to bet on. Um, it's the Chiefs and the Bucks. The Chiefs are the favorites at -3. The line opened at 3. I think the line actually opened at 3, briefly went to 3.5, and then went back down to 3. Um, I think you made your decision on who you're going to bet on from the second you heard the game. I know it doesn't really matter what I have to say on that, so we're not going to talk about that too much. Um, what else? What else? This is the kickoff of Call of Duty Cold War and the Call of Duty League. So the Call of Duty League is it's the best Call of Duty players in the world. They're signed to organizations and teams, and they play private 4v4 matches against each other. So this is the kickoff of the Call of Duty season this upcoming weekend. So I'm going to write a little bit about that. I'll be watching it, previewing it. Honestly, I probably won't write a preview blog because I don't know enough yet. But I'm gonna watch, tell you what happened, give you the winners, the losers, all that stuff. Also, last weekend was a Big Ten wrestling weekend, so all the teams were in action for the first time. Well, except for Michigan, all the Big Ten teams were in action on the wrestling mat. And to be honest, Penn State put up a really shitty performance. They still won the duel, but I didn't really like how Cal Sanderson and their coaching staff handled it. They put out not their premier guys, not the guys that people want to watch, not the guys that they're representing them at the Big Ten tournament, and then come national championship time. That's not the lineup they put out, and I don't want to say they're ducking people because it's such a weird time with the virus and injuries, and when you haven't competed in extended period of time, it takes a little bit longer to get the rust off, and some guys get banged up a little bit earlier because their bodies aren't used to the constant wrestling. But I was disappointed to see what Penn State put out on the wrestling mat this week, so I just want to get that a little bit off my chest. Um, what else? What else? What else? So, like I said, I'm joined by my boy Adam Pesci. He is my longtime best friend. We grew up about 8 houses away from each other. We're on the same street. He's the reason that people call me Krieger, to be honest, because we're in the same friend group, and he was Adam and I'm Krieger. So that was the origins of why everyone calls me that. And it's kind of, to be honest, I think it's a big part of my life. I decided to name my podcast Kriegs Korner after that's what everyone calls me. So stand by, Pesci making some really cool graphics for me. Um, you can follow him at Fuzey Designs, and you can follow my boy Scott, who in the second half of this episode, we are doing what I like to call Scotty has a six pack. It is going to be it's going to be at least on the show once a week. We'll be talking all things gambling, all things, we're going to give our picks. We talk a little bit of tennis, some college basketball. And as the season goes on and more betting opportunities come around, we're going to be talking that. We're going to be tracking our picks. Neither of us really give any picks this weekend in this episode. So I haven't really started that one yet, but once the Super Bowl props come out and all that stuff, I'm going to be doing a mega blog, have all my thoughts, all my opinions, my reasons, if I even have a reason. Sometimes I think I'm a gut gambler, so I like to make my decisions in the moment based off of pretty much no research, if we're being completely honest. But so we're gonna go over a little bit of how that segment is gonna run. It's gonna be its own separate little YouTube segment, and that I'm gonna use to mess around with to see how we can draw the most traffic to the Vendetta YouTube page. So make sure you subscribe to the Vendetta YouTube page. I will link it down below. Follow me on Twitter at Adam Krieger 1997. Follow Fuzey on Twitter, Fuzey. And follow my boy Scott on Twitter, Seisland 101. All of us are great Twitter follows. Scott tweets more for like humor and his basketball takes. Recently, I've just been tweeting out my stories, but I'm trying to get back into that. And Fuzey, he is a premier designer for Twitch and Twitch streamers. So all my Twitch friends, if you're looking to stream and get your stream off the ground, listen up and then hit him up on Twitter. I know he's super busy, but he is always willing to help you grow your stream to the next level. Yeah, guys, enjoy the show. Thank you very much and have a great day. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kriegs Korner with a K. I'm your host, Adam Krieger. Today, I am joined by my best friend in the world. Right now, he goes by Fuzey Designs. However, to me, his name is Adam Pesci. Pesh, what's going on, brother? How you been?
Kriegy, how you doing, man? Happy to be here.
I'm good. So we're currently in the middle of literally like one of the craziest snowstorms I can remember in the last 5-10 years. So we're both inside, locked up, staying warm. But I wanted to talk to Adam about the start of his company. So we're gonna get into a little bit of that later. But it's called Fuzey Designs. He does graphics for Twitch streamers, YouTube streamers, and honestly, whoever wants a graphic. But so I guess I'm just gonna go right into it. First question is, what made you start your own business, and talk me how that process went?
Well, that is a bit of a story, Krieger. So do you want me to run it all down for you real quick?
Run it down. Let's go.
So basically, I went to Indiana University, first of all. And basically my entire life, I wouldn't say my entire life, but the older years of my life, I knew that it was going to be very difficult for me to work for someone else. Like I have that sort of personality where it's hard for someone else to be my boss. So always in the back of my mind, I never even looked for jobs. I've never applied for a job in my entire life. So always in the back of my mind, I knew that I was going to try to do something myself. And I have an older brother. His name is Bradley. And right out of college, he has been working on an app, right? So essentially, that is where I gravitated towards. I knew that that was an opportunity for me to start this entrepreneurship role in my life. So right out of college, I started working with my brother on this app. So the job that he assigned me to was essentially designing. And I had no prior design experience whatsoever. And he basically just put me right into the design role, and boom, it started from there. That's how I learned how to design completely. Nothing in college or anything. So long story short, there were some complications with the app. So from legal complications to, there was just struggles. Any sort of business that you start by yourself, it's really difficult. You have to do everything on your own. You have no one telling you what to do or when you should do it. So my dad, Papa Pesh, that's what we like to call him, he gave us an ultimatum. He said, you guys need to start making money now, because my parents were supporting us. He says, if you guys do not start making money within a couple of months, I don't know how you're going to do it. You guys have to figure that out on your own. You have to both go get jobs. When I hear you have to go get jobs, no, no, no. That is not what we do. So my entire life I've been a gamer, and I have a gaming Twitter. And that's a pretty normal thing. It may sound weird to the average listener, but I have a gaming Twitter, and I have a small community built on that Twitter. So I took my knowledge that I've been working on for the past year, learning how to design, and I said, okay, I'm going to start trying to make these designs for gamers and streamers. And boom,
Now
we're
we're
over a
here.
year in business, and now we're here.
Damn, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I knew all that for the most part. Um,
Here.
you can hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but I think it's important for people to know like how you got here, and just I'm gonna put it. Pesh won't really talk about this himself probably, but this kid works 15 hours a day. I consider him my best friend, and I see him twice a week. And even when I do see him,
Not even.
he's still sitting in the computer working. We're just shooting the shit through that. But so you mentioned you had a gaming Twitter for a long time. What was your what got you into video games, and how did you kind of break off into the competitive side of video games? What was
Oh
that
man.
like?
I mean, what got me into video games, I've been playing video games for as long as I remember. I would say at a younger age, it started off by me watching. I have two older brothers, so we were always into games. It started off by like Mario games, like Mario Baseball, Mario Party, and then I went into sports games like NHLs and stuff, NHL Hits, classic. And then, I am a very naturally competitive person. So I started playing Call of Duty. I think my first ever Call of Duty was Call of Duty 4. I think I was 10. God knows why my parents were letting me play Call of Duty 4 at 10. But yeah, I don't know. From that point, I just fell in love into video games. Krieger knows, like, I've always had this absolute passion for video games. Like, if our friends wanted to go out, I wanted to game. Like, realistically, that's what I wanted to do.
He's not lying. He's not lying. Um, so recently in the past few years, I know you've always been into video games and always into competitive video games, always playing tournaments and stuff like that. But what do you think was the biggest like catalyst in esports going from like a hush hush thing to like now it's common culture, it's on every Instagram feed. What do you think the biggest jump in that was?
So I think it was my sophomore year of college. And there has only been a few games in my lifetime, right, where I played it and I was fully mesmerized by the experience of the game. And I fully mean that. And one of those games was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and the other one was Halo 2, which was one of my first games ever that I absolutely loved. I haven't had that experience in a very long time in my life. And I was actually like on the come down of video games a bit because, I was in college. I didn't have a lot of time. I had work, I had friends, I had school, etc. But then Fortnite came out. I'm not kidding. The first time I ever played Fortnite, I was mesmerized. As soon as I finished the game, I called Krieger. I said, Krieger, you have to get this game and come play it with me. This is going to be the new next thing. Do you remember me telling you that? From the
Again, folks,
very
he's not
first.
lying. Straight facts.
So basically, the blow up of Fortnite in my mind merged pop culture and the video game culture together. Like Ninja streaming with Drake. Like, it's hard to think about that now, how much of an oddity that is, but like that was such a rare and unexpected merge of two worlds. And now it just seems normal because video games has blown up in a way none of us could have imagined. But yeah, like the popularity of Fortnite, it got sports players, it got music producers, it got rappers, artists, it got everyone onto the same page and loving a similar video game.
Yeah, I remember when Drake and Ninja first started playing, or they played their first stream. I texted Adam. I was like, "Yo, like, what world are we living in right now? Like, my favorite rapper, and then Ninja, who I was watching every day at the time. I was working I was working in a low real estate office, and no matter what I was doing, I had Ninja on in the background, just watching him just drop 20 bombs over and over again. But so
And the thing is, Krieger, it's like what really is striking is like we could, because like for example, like Odell Beckham Jr. has a Twitch stream, and at this point, it just seems so casual. It seems so normal, but that is not a normal thing at all. It has not been that way, and it just a flip of a switch, the video game world changed with Fortnite.
yeah, so Fortnite was kind of my big introduction to Twitch. So Twitch is what is like a live stream gaming platform owned by Amazon where athletes, normal common folk, they just stream on there. I know Adam knew a little bit about this before Fortnite. He was, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
plugged in the video game world, but um so what do you do for Twitch streamers and how do you help a small Twitch streamer get off the ground? Because everyone can stream on Twitch. I can just plug this in and go on Twitch. So what do you do that helps people go to the next level?
So here's the thing. I cannot take credit and say that I in any way am responsible for bringing a streamer from point A to point B. Ultimately, with anything you're starting, for example, your podcast, same experience. It's like it is your responsibility to build it from the ground up and no one else's. That is the only possible way it is going to grow. But with that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't things that can assist you along the way. So what do I do is the question, correct, Krieger? Like, how do I
Yeah.
help a Twitch streamer?
Yeah, what do you do for them?
So basically anything graphics related. If you take, let's use Ninja Stream as an example. He has a clean looking logo, right? You go onto his stream. If you see someone subscribe, he has a nice alert pop up. So basically our vision of it is we want the streams to look more like an actual broadcast. Like if you go onto TV, if you go onto Sports Center, it's like if it was just a blank screen with people talking on it, it would look much less legitimate, right?
Right.
Same thing with a Twitch stream. If you go into someone's Twitch stream, it's a blank screen, they don't have a camera, and it's just a game playing. The viewer is easily bored and doesn't want to stay on that stream because they don't have confidence in that stream. But if you go onto someone's stream and they have some nice graphics, an overlay, a camera set up, they have their alerts set up with animations, immediately it gives legitimacy to the streamer. And I think it makes it overall more entertaining for the viewer. And on top of that, viewers, the way viewers work in my mind is like it's a buildup, right? You create a buildup of viewers, which in turn creates a community and in turn creates a chat, which provides further entertainment. If you don't have people communicating in your stream, it's easy for the two people in your stream to get bored and leave.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And that was kind of what drew me to Twitch the first time, watching those guys that were not only just going crazy in Fortnite, putting up these crazy gameplays, but they were also, having a conversation with 15, 20,000 people at once. And, you hear that a lot when it comes to Twitch streamers. They're all big about their community. And, Nick Merckx, for example, his community is called the M Fam, and he has barbecues and all that stuff. But, it starts at a level earlier than that. So, um, next question. So you said you always had this gaming Twitter. I think you had your gaming Twitter before you even had your personal Twitter. If I could be wrong on that, but
2012, my gaming Twitter was created. Yes.
so the growth on your Twitter in the last year plus has been insane. Um, I don't know numbers, but what do you think? Because you get all your customers off Twitter, am I correct? Pretty much is all just like word of mouth stuff.
I mean, we're building our website and you do have the ability to purchase things on our website right now, but yes, 99.9% of our sales and revenue coming in and our customers is through Twitter.
So how did you build up your Twitter? Like what do you do to get eyeballs, and how does that work? You guys have done a great job of that. So give me a little insight because I need to grow my Twitter now.
So, this again connects directly back to starting anything, starting a podcast, starting a stream. It's like every single day, if you scroll through my Twitter feed, there are at a minimum, no days off, 3 tweets of content a day. Every single day, we do not miss a day. So it's like constantly posting and like building a community who is supporting all your stuff naturally will help the growth of your Twitter. And I think we gained like 5,000 followers in the first year. And it's like, some people will like emphasize like the importance of like a ratio, etc. Like, to me, that does not matter whatsoever. It's like, there could be someone I see on Twitter with 7,000 followers and they're following 100 people, right? But they're not getting any engagement on their tweets. They're not getting likes. They're not getting retweets because they're not building anything. They're just trying to get a quick follow for follow, and that's the end of it. But that does not truly create a community for you and a source of, I don't know the word I'm looking for right now, but we, with our Twitter, have built people who support us and we support them back. If I tweet, I know I'm having people like it. I know I'm having people respond to it because that's what we've built over this year.
All right. Wrapping up a little bit.
You
Fuzey
kicking
Design.
me off, Krieger?
Never. Fuzey Designs is the name. Tell me how you came up with Fuzey.
Well, that's a pretty short answer because it's like, I don't know. There's nothing specific that made me think, oh, Fuzey is a great idea. It's like, gamers have weird names. It's really that simple. Like ninja, like, come on, man. A ninja. It's basically a word that I thought sounded cool at the time. I made it when I was probably 13, 14 years old, and it stuck. People like it. I like it. I wouldn't change it for anything.
And the way that it's mostly right now with the capital and the lowercase, it is appealing to the eye.
Exactly. The capital, lowercase, capital, lowercase, capital.
Yeah. So, we talked about like kind of what the coolest part of Twitch is. Two final questions. What do you think the future of Twitch is going to look like? How do they grow from here? What, like, in your opinion, what makes them go to the next level?
So, starting with the first one, I think the future of Twitch will be more broadcast based, essentially. Like, if you flip to ESPN, it's a broadcast, right? It's a very legitimized broadcast. And I see Twitch moving in that direction. So the way I think that the growth is truly going to take off is interactivity and technology expanding on Twitch. So it's like, any way that Twitch can give the viewers an enhancement of how they interact with the streamer, I think that will make Twitch absolutely boom. One of the main reasons I see people who are loyal to a stream is they feel connected to the streamer himself and the community based around the streamer, right? So if you can give viewers a way to connect even further to that community, connect even further to that streamer. For example, I was watching something last night of, I forget the exact name of it, but basically the Twitch viewers had the ability to control the stream. And that goes hand in hand with what I'm saying, because they are directly connected to what is happening within the stream. And I think people would be super engaged by that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. One of the biggest things I've seen in Twitch recently is they've recently added like predictions. So you can use your channel points, which are what like points you get for watching your certain streamer, and they add up over time, and you can literally like place a bet on how they're going to do in the game. So, obviously the whole world is kind of shifting towards a more gambling friendly world. States are legalizing and all that, but I think that's also a huge, huge thing coming up for Twitch. One last question, and this is kind of the big one that even I don't even know the answer to. What is next for Fuzey Designs? What brings you guys over the next level?
I mean, it's hard to, this is the way I've always seen it. I've had this conversation with my brother many times. It's hard, very difficult when you're starting something to predict what's next, right? It's like, you can sit, you can draw the X's and O's all you want on the board, but like, nothing comes to fruition without you putting in that work of what's truly next. It's like, the next step will come to you. I know it sounds cliche, it sounds a bit ridiculous, but it's like we cannot predict what the next step will be. Basically, we need to play it by ear and figure out the next step based on what our customer wants, what direction Twitch is going to move in. You know, it's like at the moment we're making stream packs, we're making logos, we have a full-blown emote shop. People are loving the emotes. It's like apparel, maybe, but I don't see that as the big what's next type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's very difficult to truly understand and predict what's next.
So in the
Because I'm
short
living
term,
now.
he's making some shirts. You can see him on Twitter every now and then. I'm still waiting on my shirt to come in the mail. I know he doesn't have any shirts in house that are big enough for me. All right, and that's pretty much it. Give everyone your follow, your Twitter handle, your website, the name of the app, and all that. Not
We
the
don't have
app.
no app.
I meant the emote shop.
Twitter is at Fuzey, Fuzey, and then our website is fuzeydesigns.com, and emote shop is fuzeydesigns.com/emote shop. And soon, viewers, be ready. Fuzey will be making the Kriegs Korner logo.
That was what I was just about to say. I was gonna say, stand by. Pesh is making me a nice little graphic. He's gonna have my podcast.
Nice.
He's got my podcast ready to go. All right, that's it for this portion of Kriegs Korner with the K. Thank you to my boy Adam Pesci for joining me. Again, that's at Fuzey on Twitter. I'll link it all down below. Have a good day.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. In case you hadn't heard, your favorite Renegade Sports Media Group has its own Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media to support our efforts to continuously bring you sports, gaming, and other media coverage as only we can. We've got 4 different membership tiers. For $3 a month, we'll give you a simple thank you on our Patreon site. For $6 a month, you get a thank you and you get to become a recruit in Jackson Law's Vendetta University Gaming Series. For $10 a month, you get everything from the previous tiers, a special thank you at the end of our videos, free access to our upcoming Discord chat, and a free koozie after 4 months. And then the big dog, $50 a month, gets you everything from the previous tiers, as well as opportunities for Fantasy League invites, stream gaming, possible invites to mock NFL and NBA draft sessions, a once-a-month Google Hangout, and after 4 months, a free t-shirt. Yeah! Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media and help us to improve our pledge to bring you the best sports, gaming, and other media coverage.
Welcome back to Kriegs Korner with a K. Today, I am joined by my boy, Scotty Ice. Scott, what's going on? How you doing today?
What's up, man? I just want to say I'm so proud of you for how seriously you're taking this, man. This is awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. I guess we'll just start with there. So I explained a little bit on episode 1 how I got here and what that's like, but I haven't really explained what's happened after that. So I posted my first story on Facebook, and my boy commented saying, "If you're looking for someone to write tennis, let me know." Well, I let Trey know, and things seemed to go pretty quickly. And next thing I knew, Scott was in the Slack, and he was going. So I guess we'll start with that. Scott's going to primarily be covering tennis, I think, and then whatever else he wants to write, like everyone else here. But what would you consider your specialties in the sports world?
Yeah, I mean, my thing was I feel like the site, I mean, I didn't know anything about it, but I kind of felt like Trey most likely had enough people who want to write about football, basketball, all like the common sports that everyone cares about. And tennis is kind of a niche market, but I've always been a huge tennis guy. So I'm hoping to find however many tennis fans are out there that want to, talk about gambling on tennis or just, tennis in general, and hope to, entertain them with that.
So, yeah, like Scott said, he's going to be talking about tennis, gambling, but one thing that I know about Scott is me and him we're both looking at lines all the time. I would say we're both I would say a few shades off degenerates, but that's just kind of the way it is. It's the best way to be in the sports gambling world. So Scott and I are going to be doing a little mini series. It's going to be attached to the end of the Kriegs Korner podcast. It's going to be called Scotty Ice's Six Pack. in the future, he'll be giving some picks. We'll both be doing picks, and we'll do a Google spreadsheet, share with everyone. But so for now, we're just gonna shoot the shit. But I did want to get into this with Scott a little bit. So I mentioned earlier, next thing I knew, Scott was in the Slack once I set him up with Trey. Our Slack channel was interesting, to say the least.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
So give me your quick thoughts on that.
My quick thoughts. So first of all, like when I texted you, I had no idea like what this website was. I didn't know anything about it. I just saw that, you were writing some pretty cool articles about things that you're passionate about. I was like, hey, if, I could use a platform to post, my own content. So I'll hit you up. And I mean, you could have said no for all I know. I didn't know what you were going to do with it. But next thing I know, I met with Trey for a few minutes. We seemed to get along. He invited me to the Slack, and I get that text from you the other day being like, yo, are you reading this shit? And the last thing I expected was, I mean, I don't know if you want to break it down, but there was a whole like mental health argument war going on.
Yeah. So I guess the root of it was Trey on his episode of That's Some Cheese, the one before I went on. He was talking about this intern class that I'm actually a part of. Scott's not an intern, by the way. Scott's just a freelance. He does whatever the hell he wants. He's a real adult with a real job that does other stuff while I'm still in school. But there was
I posted no content yet, but it's coming. It's gonna come.
Well, this is content. This is content number one. Content number
You're right.
one.
You're right.
But,
I'm working hard.
Hell yeah. So yeah, there was a little altercation, I would say. Some of the interns didn't like what Trey had to say. It spilled into Slack, and from there, things just kind of went haywire. I mean, I'm not really sure where you stand on this, but what do you think about? I mean, to be honest, from my perspective, it's Trey's company. He can say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants, write whatever he wants, and as far as I could tell, he's open to getting it back. But what would your quick little synopsis be on that?
Well, so here's where it looked like it started. It looked like Trey and were having a conversation about sports, and Trey said, your take on whatever they were talking about is so crazy that you ought to be in an insane asylum. Which, I mean, to me, like, I feel like saying that is fine. Like, I don't think he actually meant it. I mean, maybe it's not politically correct, but I don't think he meant it to be a dick. I think he was it's just a figure of speech,
Yeah, I mean that's the way I took it too. Obviously, some people don't take it that way, but I mean that's kind of what drew me to this website Vendetta, is that it's not PC. We're allowed to have our own opinions, say what we want. I mean, obviously there's a line because we're all human beings and we all have a moral compass, but at least in my opinion, that did not cross the line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
and
know
it was
anything
just
about this kid, so like,
neither do I. And but so we're not gonna dive too much into that because I know the kid was a little bit. He wanted to stay in house at first, but trading keep it in house. So I just wanted to start there for today. All right, so we covered the internal Vendetta stuff. So that I mean, by the way, this is Scott's first week. I don't even think he answered in the Slack yet.
I said one. I did use my response, and that was the first thing I read. I was like, "Hey, thank you for welcoming me to the company with that sheer entertainment," because I was cracking up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we would have liked for it to be on the site. We get some clicks, a little more banter, but it is what it is. All right, so let's get in a little bit more in the gambling stuff now. Scott, I know we just wrapped up we wrapped up championship week in the NFL, the AFC championship and the NFC championship game. So outside of football, which I think everyone dabbles in a little bit of football gambling, would you consider your gambling quote unquote specialties, or what do you look for the most? What do you like to gamble on?
So I feel like the most important thing to say is that, like most of the people who are going to be listening, I'm a losing gambler. I'm not someone who's going to make a ton of money. I mean, my whole life, more often than not, even the bets I win, I end up giving it back. Like I'll bet until I'm in the red. So, don't take my picks too seriously. Even when I have a good feel on a game,
You know,
It goes well when it
everyone
goes
knows
well.
everyone loses in gambling.
Yeah, we're all losing.
We all get that. So,
My whole thing is gamble for fun. Do it for fun. Don't do it to actually try and make an income, because that's how you get in trouble.
yeah, I like to say gamble responsibly. It's
Yes,
something
yes, for
I've
sure.
said a few times. But so what are your sports that you look at the most? What's that like for you?
Yeah, so I love college basketball. I mean, even aside from just a gambling perspective, it's just I think it's the most fun sport to watch on TV. Just kids giving it their all, trying their hardest. It's honestly almost one of the more frustrating sports to gamble on, just because you're literally betting on 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids who, sometimes they aren't that smart. They make boneheaded mistakes. But just the sheer like hustle and entertainment, that you can, so clearly see, like, these guys, they might not play at the next level. This is like their last chance to play basketball. So I just college basketball does it for me. Huge Maryland guy. Um, Graduated Maryland in 2018, so I'm always rooting on those boys. Um, I don't know. Did you take any action today for college basketball?
So I'm actually in a quote unquote short term retirement.
Right, right.
But
You told me that.
I no, I stopped after week 17 in the NFL. I got smoked. You know, those games where people don't care about it. I just lose on them. Of course, the
Yep.
gamblers care about them, but the players half the time don't care about them.
They don't give a
Uh,
fuck. Yeah. When
so
is this coming out? When is this coming out? Because I'll
we're
look ahead.
we're probably gonna drop either Monday or Tuesday. It depends on how it goes. But we don't have to do some picks now. But tennis is starting up, right? So we got
Tennis is starting
what
up.
tournament's coming up? Let me
So
know.
we got the ATP Cup starting this coming week, and that leads right into the Australian Open, which is one of the four majors the following week. But so we got all the big guys in action: Nadal, Djokovic. Honestly, I don't know if Federer's announced if he's officially playing yet. I know he's there. I don't know if you saw this, but like Australia, their COVID rules are much more intense than the U.S. So these players, they have to. And they're professional athletes. They have millions of dollars, and they have to go to Australia and stay in the hotel room for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, I
Most of
mean,
them like can't even touch the practice court.
I saw a screenshot on Twitter the other day. I think John McEnroe retweeted it or shared it, but it was literally the Australian Open arena, whatever it is was packed. I didn't see a single mask on there. But I mean, listen, if you do things the right way, it's a little bit different story. So how does
Yeah,
gambling on tennis work? You do head to heads, you do obviously every tournament really has some futures and stuff, but
yeah.
what is the primary action, would you say? Like, are you going to take futures or you just wait and you do matchups?
Um, so you can do both. I mean, I think like the most fun is to do futures, because you can actually get some pretty good value. Like you can take pretty decent players who are contenders at like 15 to 1 to win the tournament. Head to head is a little iffy, just because the skill gap in tennis is like, it's not a team sport, it's one on one. So if someone's better, they're usually going to win. Um, so like you'll get minus 400 favorites. But then again, if they're not on their game that day, then they lose.
I hate betting on big favorites like that. It's just
Yeah. Oh, it sucks.
it's such a waste. I mean,
It sucks.
I saw it a lot with Conor McGregor this last weekend. He was like minus 400 something like that. Obviously, he lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
He lost,
Vegas
but
made a ton
that's
of
what I'm
money.
saying. Like it's just crazy. And even that, like the amount of parlays he was in going into championship weekend, it's just the sports book's cleaned up, and that's obviously not what we're looking to do. But
Yeah.
so
I saw some
do you parlay
tweets.
big favorites like that, or you don't really? How do you do it? How do you look at those?
Yeah. So you can parlay. I mean, it's weird. Like a lot of like these, online like bookies, their websites won't let you parlay tennis, because you can get like a little schemy with it. You parlay like 4 or 5 pretty big favorites that, you know, there's a, they're most likely going to win. Obviously
Right. I mean,
nothing's
they're
perfect,
big favorites for a reason.
yeah, but like I would say that, and you probably wouldn't know because you don't bet tennis, but most of the books that you've had in your life, like they have parlaying tennis disabled, just because they don't
Interesting.
want to get fucked with that.
Interesting.
But so I mean, the best way to go, like just a head-to-head matchup, like you just got to pick and choose the lines that are close to a pick 'em. Like there's usually you'll get like 5 or 6 per day, um, and you want to pick from there. You don't want to get to those like minus 250s where you're throwing a lot of money. So yeah, I usually look at like minus 40 or better. And if you want to take some plus money, that's cool. I honestly feel like this Australian Open is going to be a pretty big tournament to bet underdogs, just because a lot of these guys are going to come in out of shape, where they're locked in a hotel room for 2 weeks. They're not practicing. So I feel like it's going to be a good chance to fade some of the usual suspects who are pretty much always contending.
All right, so let's do this a little bit. Give me your two favorites to win the tournament. Not money wise, just I mean not odds wise. Who you think, like, if you had to put a future on two guys right now, and then give me your long shot guy.
I got 2 futures in actually, so this works.
Perfect.
I got so there's this German guy. He's actually your age. He's 23. His name's Alex Zverev. You probably never heard of him.
Nope.
He's amazing. I mean, he's been contending in the big tournaments for a couple years now. He just hasn't put it all together, but he's been in like semifinals. He's been in finals. He's won some non-major but like still important tournaments. But he's never put it all together in the majors. But he's battled. He's beaten Djokovic. He's beaten Nadal. He's beaten Federer. Like he comes into those matches with a lot of confidence. He's not scared, and I think this could be the time where a lot of the top guys aren't quite at the peak of their powers, and I think he can come through.
So what'd you get him at?
17-1.
Damn. All right.
Um,
Is he your sleeper, or you think he's the
So,
one?
I mean,
He's the one you got.
so I wouldn't even necessarily call him a sleeper. Like he's I think he's ranked number 6 right now.
In the world?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
I mean, he's really good. So it's men's tennis is there hasn't been much parity in recent years. I think Nadal and Djokovic and Federer have won
Yeah, I mean Andy Murray's been in the mix for a little bit. I don't know if he's still around. Is he still around?
Nah, he's coming back from replacement hip surgery, so he's not contending. He's still battling, but he's not what he was. But the 3 of those guys have won probably 15 of the last 17 majors. So there's not much parity, but like I said, this tournament where guys are not in their usual routines. Tennis is a huge routine game. These guys hit balls every single day. They practice, they eat, they go get some cardio. So I just feel like it's an opportunity with guys not in their usual routines to fade some of the big favorites.
Nice. All right, give me 2 more. You can give me favorites, give me whoever you want. I mean, before you get to that, what, for those big 3, could you take all 3 of them and still make a profit, or no?
No.
What are they, minus 2, plus 220, some shit like that?
Yeah. I would say Let me pull it up, honestly.
Yeah, pull it up.
You can cut out this part, but I would guess that Djokovic is plus 110 to win.
Oh, okay. So you can't even do that.
No, right. It's so not worth it because he's got to win 7 matches.
Yeah. And then as you get later in the tournament, do those odds shrink?
Yeah, the odds change every match they win. That shit changes.
Can you double down on futures? Could you take a future after the first round, or not so much anymore?
No, you can, but the odds are gonna get worse and worse. If there's a guy who you want to take, you should take him in the first round because you won't get better value. It'll only get worse as they advance through the tournament.
Gotcha. All right, so we covered some tennis. What else? What else you got your eye on for sports? Give me.
Wait, I want to give one more pick for this Aussie Open. Hey, Rublev, he's this little Russian. He's this scary looking dude, but he fucking hits the ball harder than you've ever seen someone hit a tennis ball. He bashes it, and he's so much fun to watch. He's beaten all the big players before. So he comes in, he's not scared. And he's actually his quarantine practice partners are Djokovic and a different top player. So he's going to be getting some good warm-ups in. I'm hoping he comes through with me 35-1.
It's always so weird to me because watching the U.S. Open and when before the big championship matches, the guys are warming up together, and I guess it's the only way that you can warm up in tennis. But I mean, like you said, they're training together right now in quarantine. To me, that is that's crazy. I could never imagine even warming up for for a tournament final. Why would I want to warm up and get the guy who I'm facing ready? They should be able to do their own thing. I mean, I feel like there's got to be a better system to that, but it's
you'll see even NBA off season, you'll see LeBron and Durant in the gym.
Yeah, off season stuff is a little bit different for me though, because your competitive edge is a little bit down. We in The Last Dance, we heard about how Jordan had everyone out in the Universal when he was filming the movie and
Yeah,
literally ran like the best basketball camp in the world. But that is, to me, that's a little bit different. I mean, I guess it's more of like the competitive nature and like for especially the day of a tournament, like if I'm locked in, like in wrestling tournaments all the time, you warm up with your drill partner from your school, but I would never warm up with the guy who's ahead of me in the bracket or the guy who's at the opposite side who I might meet at the end. That to me, that's weird, but I don't know.
right.
You played high school in tennis, right? You played
Yeah,
tennis in high
yeah,
school. Did you
yeah.
warm up?
Soccer, basketball, tennis. Yeah,
Did you,
it's the same
did you,
thing,
you
man.
warm up with your opponent in high school
Yeah,
too?
every match,
No
every match. I
shit.
mean, just like a quick 5-10 minutes, but it's like, I mean, in high school it's different because like, you know, you don't know what you're gonna get from your opponent. Like, I had no idea when these guys came if I was playing someone good or someone bad. Like, unless it was a kid from Dobbs Ferry or something, or just a small school near us, I didn't know what I was gonna get. Um,
I didn't know that it worked that way in high school too. I figured you would just warm up with the guy who you practice with. But all right. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, I'm down. We got time. All right, Scott. You said you watch college basketball. Give me some people who you think can give me some teams you think you can expect to see a deep run in, and come tournament time. What do you give me some value? I don't think this year like none of the big guys are in it. I think I saw something that Duke's unranked, UNC's unranked, Kentucky's unranked for the first time in God knows how
Michigan
long.
State, Michigan
Yeah.
State's unranked.
So
It's
it's a crazy year in college basketball. I guess outside of Gonzaga, I think
yeah,
they're the
Gonzaga's the
far and away
favorite.
favorite, but who
Yep,
knows? I don't know the net
Gonzaga,
much.
Baylor, are for sure the two best teams.
So it's a wacky year.
Um,
Give me what you think.
so my pick preseason was Illinois. I mean, they were actually like a top 10 team, I think, to start the year. So it wasn't much of like just like an out of the ballpark pick. I actually still really like them. I don't think they played their best basketball, and their odds have fallen down to plus 1800, where I think preseason they were like plus 1200. Um, but they've got like the classic March Madness formula. Like, they got a star point guard, they got a big man, and they got shooters. So they play hard on defense, and like I feel like that tournament is all about just teams getting hot. Like, you never want to take anything under like plus 800 in college basketball is just so not worth it. Just because they're kids, like I was saying before. Any team can lose to anyone any given day. Like, they might not be focused, they could be nervous. So anything under plus 800, the value is just not there. But Illinois sitting at 18-1, I think. I mean, they just beat Iowa the other night. Iowa's a top 5 team. I mean, they're confident they can beat anyone. They're well coached, and they're definitely my team to watch.
So give me like is the Big Ten the conference this year with those guys not with like the perennial powerhouse not being there? Is that the conference that we should be looking at the most, you think?
Yeah, so the Big Ten is super deep. I mean, right now I think they've got like 7 teams in the top 21, and that kind of goes along with it too. Like, Illinois is playing a good team every single game. Like, they're not having any days off, which is what the tournament's all about. Like, you got 7 games to win, or however many it is, 6 games, um, and you can't fall asleep at all. Like, every team is good. It's the top 64 teams in the country, and you got to be on your A game every single time. So I feel like coming from a conference that is like that, you're not getting any games off. That's the kind of mindset you want your picks to have.
I like that. I like that. We'll do two quick March Madness things before we wrap up. So there's been a little bit of speculation. Coach K floated in the past before about everyone being in the March Madness. Give me your thoughts on that. Like it or don't like it?
I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I mean,
Okay. Okay.
like
I want to
it.
make sure we're on the same page with that. We're not participation trophy boys, but
Hell no. I mean, I think it'd be fun, like, in our, like, for us, because there'd be 20 games on literally all day, every day, like for weeks, just because there's so many fucking teams. But like, I mean, you like when the 1 seed plays the 16 seed and it's like a 50-point game, and it's not fun. It's not even fun at that point. So now you want even worse teams in Division 1 to be in those games playing like these top tier schools. It's stupid.
hard no from Scott on
Like,
that.
but yeah, just for you to bet Gonzaga minus 42 and a
Yeah,
half versus
I
like
can't imagine what a line like that would be. The number one team
stupid.
in the nation versus literally the 265th ranked team in the nation.
Yeah.
If I mean,
Like Gonzaga versus Cornell. Like who wants to watch that?
it'd probably be like minus 60, some shit like that. I mean,
It's not
listen,
worth it.
you're giving me 60 points. I'm gonna take the points. I'll take the plus 60 every time, and I'll probably lose.
Sweat
And
your balls off that whole game.
exactly. And my last thing on March Madness is recently they announced that the times and the dates are going to change, so they're not playing the first weekend on that Thursday, Friday that we normally get. Give me your thoughts on that. You like the day game action when you're working, or
Oh my
you
god,
want on the
I
weekend?
like it,
I
dude. I
know, I
fucking
know.
love it, yo. My office was so relaxed with it too. Like you get like you walk down the hallway and every single computer has like the triple box going up. Like that shit was the best. And honestly, like I was getting to the point where I was gonna probably just start taking off from work during those days. Like just make them like my days every year.
Yeah, I remember last year, me and a few of my friends, we were all planning on we're gonna get a table at Bounce, which is a little sports bar type club in the city where
Yeah, look at
we're all
you.
from New York.
You were going clubbing?
No, listen, Thursday. I think a Thursday table at Bounce is not your night table at Bounce, but yeah, obviously everything got shut down pretty quickly, so we missed out on tournament time last year, and then so I guess my follow up to that would be so with the change in the schedule, the Elite Eight, Sweet 16, those games are not going to be on weekends anymore. Now, I feel a little
Wow.
differently about
I
that.
actually I didn't realize that.
So
What, so
yeah,
can you run through the schedule? Like what's it gonna be like?
I don't know what I can't be for sure. I probably got to pull it up, but yeah. So the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight are going to be on weekdays. So we're going to get like it'll be like prime time 7 o'clock games on as opposed to the weekends. How do I personally like that. You like that, or you like it on the weekends?
I mean, I'm one of those guys who just likes what he's used to. So it'll be weird at first, but I mean, whatever it is, like I would say that, in like the usual format, it does suck like when Sunday ends and you're like, oh shit, we don't get games until Thursday night, and you have to just like wait those days. But it always ends up being worth it when you just get back to back to back games and all that. But I mean, I trust those guys know what they're doing. Like they know how to make the viewing experience the best for us. So
Yeah, everyone's looking for money, and I guess they thought it was better for TV rights. And to be honest, I think we might like it. I mean, I don't know if they're going to stick with it forever, but I think it had to do with like changing of the ability to get teams in and out safely and travel time and all that stuff. But I think we're all going to end up liking the night games because come home from work on a Monday, you have something to look forward to. We're in that weird dead time where football will be
yeah,
over,
it's getting
baseball
there.
hasn't started, NBA's in that like the last like lullish before playoffs get going, and
Yeah.
hockey's the same way. But
Yeah, I love the NBA. Like NBA playoffs, they get me going. But this part of the year, like, who cares? Like, who the fuck cares? There's so many games. Like, you know who the contenders are. Like, why am I gonna watch a Lakers Pistons game? Like even if the Lakers lose, like, no one thinks that they're not gonna be in the finals.
one game in January. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Um, all right, everyone. That's Scotty Ice. Scott, why don't you tell everyone where to find you on socials?
Oh shit! You can find me on Twitter. I love Twitter, man. I'm trying to.
Scott's a
I
big Twitter
told
guy.
Trey at some point I'm trying to take the keys to this Vendetta Twitter because right now, all they're doing is just reposting articles. I'm trying to get some more like real content, some more funny tweets. It just takes one viral tweet to build up your following. He
Yeah.
just needs one funny tweet, and he'll be killing it.
I know he's always looking for that. So your Twitter is at what?
S Iceland. Oh, that's my last name. Seisland 101.
We can cut that if
That's
you don't.
me.
If we can cut that if you don't want to be it. If you don't want to.
No, I don't care. I
We
don't
can get
care. People can know my last name. I don't give a shit.
okay.
Yeah. I feel like I lack Twitter followers, but like I have some funny ass tweets.
Yeah,
So like
Scott is a very good Twitter follow. I've been following him for
come check it
years.
out.
Me and him, like I said, me and Scott go way back from high school, sophomore gym class for me, junior for him. we made some memories, and
It was a
from there we
great
kind
gym
of
class.
it was a great gym class.
Great class.
Shout out Miss D. All right, that's it for Scotty Ice's Six Pack, part of the Krieger Korner with a K podcast, all part of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcast Network. That'll do it for episode number 1, and I guess look forward to having some more picks. Scott, thanks for coming on, and we're gonna keep this going.
I'm taking a Snapchat of you right now just to send out to some friends. But now that this was a lot of fun, so I look forward to what, next week? Am I gonna be a weekly guest or what?
Oh no, you have a segment on my show for going forward. We're gonna be doing Scotty Ice's Six Pack.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Either
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd
I
love
haven't
to do
decided
that.
if I'm gonna do it once or twice a week for the show. I think I'm kind of biting off a little more than I can chew with this rate. I mean, I'm locked up in the hotel, so I've literally had nothing but time. But I am still in college, so I have some
course.
school responsibilities to take care of. But we'll figure that out down the road. But Scott is welcome on my show whenever he wants, and
Love to hear
I
it.
think he
Love
knows
to hear
that.
it.
All right,
Awesome.
that's it for today's episode. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at Adam Krieger 1997 at Adam Krieger 1997 at Scott. Both are going to be linked down below, and hopefully Scott gets some blogs out, and I'll link them down below too. I'm trying to just fucking draw these views up. I'll quickly mention this. We've been doing a little bit better the last week in view count, but I was talking to Trey the other day, and he's like, I want to look back and laugh at these numbers. So I agree. We're going to start driving some more traffic, and just stick around. Thanks, guys. That'll do it.